Jai
back to the
Hind.
channel. Welcome back to the Voice of Nationalist Bengal.
Okay.
Let's talk about today's topic: the chain of events in Bangladesh since the CIA engineered coup last August, in which the legitimate Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was deposed, continues to evolve as the Bangladesh border guards. They raise the temperature on our border, trying to prevent the erection of a border fence by the Border Security Force. Retired Bangladeshi officers are raising warlike noises, and a senior serving officer is going to visit Pakistan. Whereas, on the contrary, they are really blowing hot and cold. A foreign ministry spokesperson in Dhaka issued a contrary statement saying the question of deployment of Pakistani troops in Bangladesh does not arise. The interim government in Dhaka has summoned our High Commissioner Pranay Verma, and vice versa, the Bangla High Commissioner NuruI has also been summoned by our Minister of External Affairs in Delhi. The Indian Army Chief, General Upendra Dwivedi, has stated Dhaka Delhi relations will be normal once an elected government comes in power. So, and also, today there's a very important development. The short selling firm, which was issuing, reports right, left, and center, the Hindenburg group, it has wound up shop all on a sudden. So, eminent historian Professor Kapil Kumar and eminent Netaji researcher and cardiothoracic surgeon Dr. Madhusudan will elaborate on the emerging scenario. Over to you, sirs.
Thank you, Dr. Chatterjee. I will tell something in general terms. Then Professor Kumar will enter into the subject of Hindenburg and the role of the deep state America attempt of destabilization of India. In the final phase of Justice Mukherjee Commission, Justice Mukherjee asked me one thing. Dr. Pal, I have accepted your arguments that plane did not crash and Netaji did not die. But you tell me, many questions he asked me. Tell me why he did not return to India. In response, I gave him 4 major points. One of the major point is, sir, with which mission he left India to take a role in the World War? The mission was liberation of undivided India with complete freedom. And you see, at the end of the war, in August 45, he was confirmed that in this situation, complete liberation and independence of unified India is not possible. And the mystery was designed from long before, from middle of the 1944, for safety of his protection of his dream. He had to plan long before the end of the war to go into disguise so that he can protect his war to execute his mission, complete independence and liberation of unified India. And whatever in his mysterious life beyond August 45 done with that mission. And to achieve that mission, the situation inside India need changes, because now the power of the states and power at the center is in the hands of the non-nationalists or anti-nationalists. And also world situation, world equation is not favorable for execution of his dream. And last sentence is, in this world, 2 sets of powers in a simple way. One set of power composed of some Indian forces inside the nation And outside, they want to destroy this Bharat more, to fragment it more. But other set of powers composed of some forces inside India and also internationally, they want to rebuild this Bharat Barsha. The Bharat Barsha based on its Sanatan principles. And these two sets of powers fighting with each other for last 8 decades. Now, the floor is for Professor Kumar.
Thank you, Dada. Uh, Today, I believe that our leader of the opposition must be in great shock because this news which has come that Heidelberg research is closing down. Net Ederson announced it. So his entire toolkit, prepared through the guidance of Soros, has fallen to the ground. Last few months, almost a year, we had been seeing him shouting, Adani, Ambani, Modi shielding Adani, Ambani. And after this report, this case which was filed in the American court against the Adani group, accusing them of something like 2,000 crore rupees bribes given in India and abroad by this group, this man was dancing. Look, Ambani, Adani are Modi's friends, Modi shields them, and see now, the American court has issued warrants. The American court has issued this thing against that green energy company of Adani and all. And for how many days these people blocked the parliament in both houses, demanding a JPC against Adani's role and all these aspects. American court has said it. Matlab, I asked this person a question कि if filing, I asked at that time that if filing a case in the court means that Adani is the criminal, he has been proved criminal, then that way, how come when the court case was filed in the National Herald case scam in the court, then you are not a culprit? And a person who is himself on bail shouting these kind of things, which means that this person doesn't have a basic understanding of the law. And what he's doing is, he's shouting at what the Naxalites or Maoists want him to shout. Now, I personally feel, let there be a JPC now to investigate these fake charges which were made by this Rahul Gandhi on Adani and all. They should investigate it. And along with that, investigate another thing also, which I'll come to a little later. Because yesterday in the same meeting where he was charging this Adani, etc. again, he made an open declaration of war against the Indian state. I could have accepted his saying that we are at war against BJP or the government or Modi ji or RSS. But he qualified saying that if you are thinking that you are at fighting against them, that is a wrong understanding. We are fighting the Indian state.
Exact voice is, I am now fighting against BJP, RSS, and Indian state. Quote, unquote. Rahul Gandhi.
No, Dada, before that he said that if you think that it is only a fight against BJP and RSS and all, you are wrong. Against the Indian state.
Yes.
Now, whose slogan is this? It is the
Naxalites, Maoists.
Make India
Maoist
good
slogan.
Naxals.
Maoist slogan of fighting the Indian state, and so is the slogan of the terrorist fighting the Indian state. The PFI fighting the Indian state. That fellow who was behind the Delhi riots, who's in jail for that man's slogan of fighting the Indian state. And this person who carries a copy of constitution, that red book in his hand all the time, which they display in the meetings, when they display in the parliament, has no time to read the constitution, that what the Indian state means in the constitution, what the Indian state stands for. And this again proves that he has no consideration for India as a nation. His earlier statements in Cambridge, in Oxford, India is just a union, India never existed, India came into existence in 1947 only. All these kind of statements, if you put together, you see a definite design as a part of toolkit to be making these aspects. And yesterday, the truth came out in his speech when he declared that he wants to fight the Indian state. And he's fighting the Indian state. The person doesn't know what the Indian state is, what the Indian state means. And I think it's high time that the Indian state gives him a little bit of its mind that what the Indian state is. I am waiting to see what Amit Shah does on this, being in charge of this Home Ministry and all the agencies. I also believe, I demand that let there be an investigation, a joint investigating team of national this intelligence agency, CBI, IB, RAW, all together to investigate all the Soros agents in India, their bank accounts, etc., and expose them to the people. It won't be a difficult job for the Indian agencies to do that, but it is high time this is required. Now, this man talks against Ambani, Adani. He forgets that it is the Congress who developed monopoly capitalism in this country by the license Raj. No other capitalist behind a few capitalists who were in good terms with the Congress after 47 were allowed to flourish in this country. That's what they did. And plus, I asked him a question. He can't answer that. I said, Adani and Ambani were not born billionaires. From down earth in their life, they worked hard, and expended and went their business up. And in whose times their business went up? It was during the UPA government's time that they went up. Now, today, when they are competing the multinationals, when they're establishing Indian industries abroad, challenging them, will the multinationals accept this kind of a challenge from Indian industries? I'm not a spokesperson for Ambani or Adani, but I'm a nationalist and I'm talking from the point of view of our national economy, India's economic strength. Whom are they challenging today? You see these things in this, what you call this, this wind energy, wind power.
Wind
How
power,
India is
yes.
doing? How India is doing in solar energy today?
Solar and wind, both.
Solar and wind
Windmills.
both, windmills. And what is India doing in solar energy today?
Non-conventional energy
Not
sources.
well. I don't agree
Non-conventional.
with this non-conventional and all these things and all the terminologies. All I want is, I will say, the natural energy
Yep.
resources,
Yes.
Right.
unlike the nuclear ones, which are dangerous. You see, this nuclear energy has become, even the power plants have become sitting nuclear bombs, you see. If a country bombs a power plant, you have been hearing about in the Ukraine war and all these places, what's going on. So
Oh, Chernobyl.
when our industrialists are challenging the world, they're establishing themselves. You attack them, and that too without a proof. Someone has filed in the court. What are the proof? Did the this Hindenburg research came to do inquiry in India?
It was a rumor
Were
mills.
they, no, were they spying in India? And if they have
Absolutely.
discovered that Adani paid these 2,000 crores, give the names also now to whom he paid. It means in many of the Congress governments in India, Adani established industries and all these things. So that means your congressmen also took those commissions. You won't say that. My other question was, Mr. Dada, one second. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, what have you done in life? The Adanis and Ambanis are giving employment to lakhs of people. The house of lakhs in India is because of the jobs provided by them. How many people you have provided jobs? And are you yourself capable of doing any job? You were born in a family, rich family, with golden spoons in your
Spoons.
mouth, in golden cradles. Have you seen poverty? Have you seen a youth struggling for a job? And you want Adani to be persecuted and his industries to be closed? So lakhs of youth in India lose their jobs. And you talk of giving employment to the youth in this country. Ridiculous. What he goes into say into this. Yes, Dada.
Maybe day after tomorrow, Rahul will give a lecture that in their UPA time, these Adani, Ambanis were begging in the streets of Bombay. Only Modi ji have made them rich. Number two. Number two. Number two. Number two. In applied psychology, in criminology, there are few statements. Number one, if you allow a criminal to proceed unchecked, a time will come he will dance on the street naked, exposing everything. Number two, if a criminal is allowed to, in his own way, he will be arrogant in such a way one day, and that arrogance will destroy his common senses, and he will automatically expose the nasty things from within. And that is happening.
Dada, I'll say something else. From a if you're talking of psychology and mentality, this man's brain has been totally gripped with the lust for power. This family can't remain without power. And that lust for power makes him do whatever he can, whatever methods he can adopt. He may go to Soros, he may go to Jinping. You see, I'll relate this to the other Jinping thing when I come to this statement of war against the Indian state. But this whole thing, did Congress never took funds from Adani and Ambani? They are businessmen. They give to all parties. And these people, they they keep politicians with them. There's no doubt about it, political parties with them. But at the same time, what you are doing? Are you honest? What were you doing establishing a company in England where you wrote your citizenship also as a British citizenship? It's not a mistake. It's something
The
done on
instrument, the
this.
instrument of disruption politics is used
Uh,
by this Gandhi Nehru dynasty from the days of Gandhi to gain power and to regain power. You think of Gandhi. Gandhi, his life, the Khilafat resolution, Khilafat movement is a politics of disruption.
Dada,
And then
I'll come to their
Nehru,
DNA in the next
Nehru,
part which I
Nehru,
take.
Nehru was more active than Jinnah for partition of India
No, no, I'm telling
because
you,
that
I'll come.
disruption made him the prime minister.
Dada, let me finish in a one line or two this part. When I come to the second part, I'll
Yes.
come to their DNA. Okay, what is the Congress DNA and what is this family's DNA? So, the toolkit has failed. That company is now winding up before Trump comes because that company also knows if an inquiry is ordered there into the functioning of that company, where will this net Ederson land up? So it's the Trump effect also. It is Trump's fear also that these kind of activities they are withdrawing from now. So Rahul Gandhi has been ditched. That is why I said that today he must have gone into this new headquarter which he inaugurated yesterday of the Congress on that Kotla Road in the Kop Bhavan there. I hope they have made a Kop Bhavan also there because they have made the IT room, they have made the press room, they have made many rooms in that building. So I think there must be a Kop Bhavan also. When these top Congress leaders have a setback and a trauma because of their ambitions not being fulfilled, they can go and sort of remain in their what you may call sadistic attitude and all, and things over there in that Kop Bhavan to come out of their depression over there. And I have a feeling that they must have found some um, person to do mental counseling also, because their mental health seems to be totally disturbed now in all aspects. Everything they shout at, everything they shout at. Now, Dada, coming to this second point, which is much more serious. This anti Indian attitude is in the DNA of this family. And if I start counting that, recall Nehru fully knowing that what Bose and INA stands for, making the statements that he will take a sword in his hand and he'll go and fight Netaji. He'll go and fight Subhash. And that too in Assam. The way he is installed as president of the Congress in 1946, the way he betrays the nation in January 1946. Now there will be no more trials of the INA people. They will all be released until August 47. He is begging Viceroy to release them, saying that it's very difficult for me. I can't do my politics. I can't keep my popular image among the people if they are not released. Playing a double hand to the people. Then you come at 47, because Rahul Gandhi made a statement in yesterday's speech also that saying that India did not get independence on 15th August 1947 is insulting our freedom fighters.
Is
is insulting our freedom fighters.
Oh,
So, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, yes, our all freedom fighters, and particularly the revolutionaries and those belonging to the INA and those who stood in the naval uprising, they were insulted and humiliated on 15th August 1947 when the Congress, instead of complete independence, got a dominion status for the country. And I always give those four documents. The minutes of Attlee's meeting, May 47, where he says that Congress leaders are now saying independence can wait for some time provided a transfer of power takes place and we get a dominion status. And the minutes say that this has made our task easy now. We will make a Hindu dominion and we a Muslim dominion. The 14th August Gazette of India, that's not my gazette, which says India means dominion of India. Pakistan means dominion of Pakistan. The newspapers that day, two dominions are born.
are born.
Okay. Some of their papers who got carried away by Nehru's and Gandhi's statement that it is independence. On the top they write India achieves independence, and downside they say two dominions are born. Now dominion and independence are two different things. Had they not been, then in the 1928 Kolkata session, when Gandhi moved the resolution for dominion status, and Netaji said, no, we want complete independence in it. And Nehru also had joined in that, who betrayed Netaji and stabbed him in the back
yes,
there in the session. And then why Gandhi got it defeated if they were the same? And why again in 1929 at Lahore, the Congress went for this resolution complete independence? And then why again Gandhi, during the roundtable conferences and other
yes,
conferences and dialogues with the British, came back to the question of dominion status and did
dominion.
not say complete independence? In the
Yes,
people, they will say complete independence. At the negotiating tables, they will say dominion.
yes,
And nothing less than nothing less than complete independence, nothing less than complete independence, they did it. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, will you tell me that if we were independent on 15th August, why was the last Viceroy Mountbatten made the first Governor General of India, and why did he take his oath in the name of King? Then why not in the name of Constituent Assembly or in the name of India? You retained your army chief, commander in chief, air force chief, navy chief, all as Britishers. These champions of Swadeshi. They could not find any Swadeshi man for this. So this was the first document. The second document. First is at these minutes. Second is this 14th August Gazette of India. Third are these newspapers of 15th August morning. Not only Indian but even international newspapers. Now let me come to the fourth document. The letter written by, it's in public domain now, very much on the social media and all. When Anuj Dhar and we did it, the letter written by Nehru in April 1948 to the king. Here he says, I, the Prime Minister of your Indian Dominion, on behalf of your Cabinet of Indian Dominion, seek your permission to appoint Rajgopalachari as the second Governor General of India when Mountbatten goes away. So if you were independent, why were you needing King's approval to appoint the Governor General of India? In fact, the correct way would have been that let the Constituent Assembly elect the Governor General of India. You know, not only this level, the other thing happened in 47. If we were not a dominion, why did Gandhi want the Union Jack, the British flag, to be a part of the Indian flag? Plenty documents in it.
Nehru
And
himself was not elected prime minister of this country. Nehru was not elected
imposed,
prime minister at the
imposed,
beginning.
Selected.
enthroned by,
He was selected
enthroned by
only
him.
by Gandhi and imposed.
And Dada, let me tell you one thing. I mentioned that Mountbatten took his oath in the name of King on 15th August.
Right.
The Union Jack was not brought down on 15th August at
Correct.
Mountbatten's residence and office,
Correct.
what we call the Rashtrapati Bhavan today, the Viceregal Lodge. And Mountbatten has written that I told Nehru that if the Union Jack goes down, we will feel very sad. And Nehru assured that he doesn't want to make anyone feel sad on that day. And the Union Jack will not go down. And interestingly, all other, photographs and some films are available of other events, but no photograph is available and no film is available of this flag hoisting at Mountbatten's official residence and office at Viceregal Lodge. The tricolor went up, but the Union Jack never came down.
Didn't go down.
The
And that
country, the
continued up to
country,
1971. Union
Dada,
Jack was being hoisted up to 1971.
not only that, even Nehru made a list that on these days the Union Jack will go up.
Union Jack will fly.
And don't forget the Congress DNA. That till a long time, I think 1919, I know, must be later also, that in every Congress session the Union Jack used to go up and they will sing God Save the King, the national anthem. Even in Amritsar in 1999 session, which was held after the Jallianwala Bagh incident, they will do
We'll go
that.
back to Bangladesh.
But
We'll
one
go back
second,
to
Dada,
Bangladesh.
just let me just finish it. The last document is the London Gazette of June 24 June 1948. Now, I have not created these documents. London Gazette is the official spokesperson of all government notified things. And that Gazette says on that day that from today, the Emperor of England foregoes his throne of India.
What is the language? Is
Emperor foregoes his
Foregoes his
throne of
throne
India.
of India. And
foregoes
no
the
ancestor and no successor of his will have any claim on that empire and the throne. I'll give you the exact words. I'm giving the gist of these things. So then, what were we in 1948? And if you will recall, Dada, in the original plan, it was a withdrawal of the British, which was to be completed by July 48. And these people, the country was burning. There were killings, there were rapes, there were murders. People were made to forcibly migrate, leave their houses. And these people were throwing dinners in Viceregal Lodge that night, in the evening, 14th evening, 15th evening, celebrating, fooling the people what they call Indian independence. Now, what Rahul Gandhi has said in relation to Mohan Bhagwat ji or RSS, let the RSS spokesperson and all deal with that. But Rahul Gandhi, I challenge you as a historian, prove me wrong and improve your basic general knowledge of history.
Initial plan was transfer of power July 1948. There are many
Yes,
less known facts why they
yes.
preponed that. They preponed that
Prepone
by
that
10 months.
IN and
They were
Netaji.
compelled to prepone that.
IN and Netaji.
Yes. The, the fear of the ghost, fear of
I
the
think,
ghost
I
appearing
think,
on
I
the
think,
scene.
I think we will have this as a separate topic
Yes.
because my
I will.
forthcoming book, which I have dealt with all these things,
Yes.
which should be coming out in a few months, 2 months or so.
I-
So let's have that as a separate topic one day over it.
In my second volume, there is a chapter why they postponed their transfer of
Dada,
power.
Dada, don't forget that they have called those them transfer of power volumes. They have not said Indian independence volumes.
Transfer of power.
It's
Okay.
transfer of power.
Okay.
And every British document, even during the war, Indo-Pak War of 47, they are talking of war between the two dominions.
Yes.
Every document talks of dominion. I
And
can give document after document on that.
in the DNA of this dynasty, there is the DNA of disruption
No,
to
no.
regain power. Most
Coming
important
back to
example in
coming back.
1978, when Indira was out of power, he brought Bhindarwale to disrupt Punjab and Delhi.
Dada, let me go further on DNA 2 lines more. Nehru's DNA getting Pak occupied Kashmir mate by sidelining the army's opinion that first let us throw out these Pakistanis from Kashmir and then only go for ceasefire, which he did on the saying of Edwina.
Yep,
That is one. Then
that's right.
his great love for China, ignoring Sardar Patel's letter of 1949. Hindi Chini bye bye. So many things on China. This great, even when Akasai Chin was given to China by Pakistan, defending it in
We're
the
not
parliament, that some land where doesn't even a straw
a
grows,
blade of
grass
grass,
grows,
not even a blade of
it has
grass.
gone to China. I remember Tyagi ji had said that taking up his cap there in the parliament, the Saranpur MP, that if my head is bald, should I get my head cut?
Then let us come back to Bangladesh today.
So, this DNA, and then even to Indira Gandhi, when you will come, that surrender of the Pakistani army in Bangladesh, and then handing over their more than 90,000 of their prisoners who had committed war crimes in Bangladesh. Don't forget that. Excessive rapes and killings. Were they tried
But
for
neither
their war
No,
Indira
crimes? No.
nor
And,
Habibur Rahman
and,
tried war
and
crime.
giving them back to Pakistan.
None.
So it's
Not only
Bangladesh
returning, but in exchange, they not demanded our imprisoned
who were
soldiers,
there in their
20,000 in their prison. And we never,
their
in
prisons.
exchange,
Many Air
demanded
Force
POP.
army officers.
And we
Many Army and
paid the
Air
whole
Force.
salary of 90,000 soldiers, full salary, with honor. We returned them to Pakistan.
Dada, you tell me, if it was independence, we would pay the pension of those Britishers who had served in India after 47. We paid that.
Dr. Chatterjee, let us come back to
this
Bangladesh again at the finishing, which we promised to the audience. Then what is happening in Bangladesh? Today
sir,
is 16th.
can I tell you something? I mean,
Okay. Yes.
let's going back to that Hindenburg thing.
Okay.
Don't you think that it is the same? I mean, these are the same forces which did the disruption of power in Bangladesh, the engineered coup in Bangladesh,
Oh,
and
definitely.
this man called
Biden is a party
Anderson,
of that. Soros is a party of
this
that.
and this
And Biden has
Anderson guy.
honored Soren.
Not only
This
Soros, your Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, part of this conspiracy.
They have
And this
forgotten their
Anderson
active
auntie.
participant.
They forgot their auntie Khalida.
and I mean this Anderson guy who was just taking out bunkum research papers that so and so firm has committed this much of fraud, this, and basically actually in one stroke he wiped out 150 billion dollars of, I think, assets, of funds of Adani, but a lot of people lost their money. So how can this fellow just wind up shop and say that I'm closing it down and just get away with it?
No, 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 no. He is closing the shop down because of the change of government which is coming in US. He's
Sir,
afraid
all
that there
sir,
might be an
all
inquiry into their actions, what they had been doing abroad and in US also, because they played a part against Trump also in US. You see, it is not
actually,
Soros has been honored by Biden. You see, so
sir,
they are
this,
winding
this,
up
this
because of that threat to run away from US also.
it took all of, just a notice from the Senate Judicial Committee to tell them that you keep your documents ready. That meant that there was going to be an inspection, that whether you have got the evidence against Adani, etc., about the reports
They have
that you
not,
are making in public. And the
they
moment
have
the
got
notice came,
they have
he
got
just won't stop.
volunteer provided to them by Rahul Gandhi,
So,
whose button whose button is in
isn't it
China
amazing?
with Jinping after the 2008 treaty with China,
Yeah, that
and
agreement.
whose clauses they don't disclose, not even to their even Congress president or their spokespersons or their leaders. And as a part of that, they have been doing that. So I said that infection which was there in 10 Janpad, because his mother cried when Batla
Batla House
encounter
encounter,
terrorists
yes.
were killed. So that infection now went to 5 Suneri Bagh Road, where he's staying now. You see. So it is very clear that what has happened in US, the change of government in US has an impact not only in US but on India and Bangladesh simultaneously. Because in Bangladesh also Yunus is afraid now. The great friend of Biden, the brutal devil's face in the name of a peaceful man.
Clinton
He
Foundation
knows very well.
stooge.
He knows very
Is
well.
it is it a fact that the new ambassador for Washington to Dhaka has come to help this Mia Yunus to escape
No,
in
you
a
never
safe
know.
way, to a safe place?
You never know. My prediction was, Dada, very clear that he also will not survive. He will either run or he will be taken care of by these fanatics themselves.
Is it a fact that France has refused to take him back, refused to give him
Well, we
shelter?
don't know that, Dada, because there is a lot of things which move on these days on YouTube, and sometimes feel very sad and ashamed also that some of the leading news channels they put some wrong headings, and inside, when you look at the story, there will be nothing related
There's
to that.
something
Yes,
completely
to
different comes
confuse,
out.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
confuse.
but he will run to no, no, he will run to Pakistan, Dada. But the question is from which side he will run. He can't go through the Burma border. He can't go through the India border. From where he will run?
The
So
way,
that's
the way
another
of the
question
law.
for this fellow. There's another
The way of
question.
the law.
And you see these other things which are happening in relation to Bangladesh, that Khalida Zia has already reached England. And before going to England, there were meetings with
And
presidents.
in England also,
And
that is,
one more thing. You never know, Dada, that 2 days back, since 2, 3 days back, you are finding now that the Awami League protesters are also out on the roads. So you never know that the Trump regime itself may try some patch up between Hasina and Netaji. Khalida, the Zia, and this, because they had, you remember, patched up earlier also in Bangladesh once. Went to remove that, who was that General Irshad or something who had taken over uh, in
Right,
Bangladesh. I think
right.
19, which year was that? 1990 or something.
And
Over
91.
there, they joined hands.
91 it was.
and
They had joined
England,
hands.
the relative of
So,
Hasina, who was a minister in the cabinet, this cabinet is compelled to resign
Who?
on some corruption charge.
Who?
A relative, daughter of the sister of Hasina, who was minister
Uh,
in UK in this labor
oh,
ministry, has to
oh.
yes.
resign on corruption charge.
So they are also a part of rape jihadists and winning elections in UK. Great. So in this scenario, my first day, my thing has been that there is going to be a lot of internal strife in Bangladesh, whether it will be Shia Sunni riots, where again it will be atrocities against the Hindus, or whether there is that the army gets divided and there is infighting within the army also. You can't rule that out in Bangladesh.
Dr. Shankar,
So,
what is
and
the last position of the Arakan Liberation Army?
well, I don't think any further news has come. They haven't moved further than what they have occupied earlier.
But they are not moving back either. They are on the verge of declaring
No,
an independent state.
no, they won't move, and they're waiting for the right time. Some other things may be
And
taking
in
place.
our border security force are being repeatedly attacked by their forces.
No, today, a lady Jawan fired back. She shot some
Our lady,
intruders.
our lady Joan
Yes, sir.
Dada,
from India side.
Dada, Dada, this is not new. On Bangladesh border, this has always been happening. Wherever we try to put the fence, they come and resist. And these kind of firings, whenever they try to put in intruders also, we stop it. On that smuggling of cows also there. All such firing exchanges
But
have
this
never stopped
time,
on Bangladesh
from
border.
that side, Yunus side, there are more provocations to our side, so that there is some firing from this side, and some Bangladeshis are killed, and they will shout in the that we are being attacked by a big force.
No, there's another thing I feel is that these fanatics want to increase their hold more strongly over there. So their excuse is that India is attacking us, India is firing at us,
Yes,
let us
yes,
combine,
yes.
let's be together
It
and
will
do these
strengthen their
things.
position of the
And
fanatics.
get and Pakistan is now their what you call their godfather now.
Postpone
Oh,
the
their
elections. Basically, sir, postpone the elections because India is
Dada, let me
attacking.
tell you,
We are at war.
Dada, let me tell you one thing. These Islamic states, even elections are a farce there. Please
And
understand me.
Professor Kumar, what is the
Whatever he
situation
may
about the
say in terms of elections in Bangladesh, they are not going to have it.
what is the position of Baluch Liberation Army last few days?
They are fighting.
And that in the people in the POC and the Northwest Frontier Province.
That's all going on, Dada. The Balochs are fighting, and it has been come out now that earlier it was thought that the Balochs had only some guerrilla fighters, but now it has come out that they have many secret units, you see, very well trained and all. And then
Majid
this Tehreek
Brigade.
Taliban is all out, and there will be trouble in Pakistani towns also.
What is the
So
official position of the
let's see what all happens.
Iran about this Baluch Liberation Army?
Dada, Iran. See, in these conditions, some countries doesn't take. We never take any official position in Balochistan.
Yes, but at one time, 1 year back, in a televised speech, Prime Minister Modi clearly supported the Baluchistan Liberation Army for the liberation. That is the official position.
No, That's what we have always said. I'm saying, I know I was talking in terms of the physical help, that we are not able to provide them with any physical help at the moment.
We'll tell we are not physically helping. We'll always tell this.
But we support that aspect over there for the Bangladesh. And even, there's a Sindh underground also. In Sindh
Yes.
also this is happening. So it is not just Peshawar or some other place, but it includes Sindh also in this.
And the peculiarity of Dr. Chatterjee, the peculiarity of the Baluchistan is eastern part of the Baluchistan ethnically they are Indians, and the extreme southwestern part they are Iranians, and a
They are
part is Afghans.
And they are dominated by Punjabi Muslims,
And they are yes, dominated means ruled being be dictated by or tortured by the
which
Punjabi Muslims. Ethnically absolutely
resent very
different.
much. So
Ethnically
Karachi
different.
will go out, Balochistan will go out, POK will go out, Gilgit will go out,
And then Sindh
and
will go
northwest
out.
and northwest
And
provinces will go out.
only remaining part will be the West Punjab as
The
Pakistan.
West Punjab, Pakistan. So let us see how long, how much this is prolonged. But
Should we con-
in a way, the symptoms are
now
all there.
now let
Very
Chatterjee, Dr.
strong.
Chatterjee complete this.
Okay.
Dr. Chatterjee, what you finish this today's
okay, sir.
discussion?
I mean, there's nothing to add really. I mean, Professor Kumar has summed up things beautifully, and I think we can call it a day today, sir. We've
And
had a
and and
we have
this
had a yes, sir.
and the I think the most important is today most unfortunate persons in India is this collapse of the failure of the deep state in USA. Most unfortunate, most unhappy persons is Sonia Congress. Sonia,
No, not
Bhadra, Rahul,
only not only they. Don't forget.
also Noxals,
Akhilesh,
and
Akhilesh,
all
Akhilesh
Sikumakus.
Yadav also shouted Ambani, Adani.
Yes.
Akhilesh Yadav also shouted that. It
Also,
was
they are
not the
very unhappy.
Congress.
They are all part of
Congress.
break India groups.
Yeah. So let us see. India,
This
they will not be able
Hindenburg,
to fight.
the
India, they will
Hindenburg
not be.
winding up stop is the greatest bubble burst.
Yes. The moment this Rahul Gandhi, backed by the disruptive deep state campaigns in India in last election, their MP number went from 45 to 90. He thought that tomorrow he'll be the Prime Minister of India. And that's not happened in last 1 year. That's the very sorry picture for him. And he cannot tolerate this that a
No.
Chawala has become the
Can
Prime
you
Minister and
can you
for
tell
3 terms,
me
and he being
will
the emperor, the prince of this country, is outside the power. How can
will
he sleep?
the youth of this country, the elderly
Yes,
of
sir.
this country, accept
Uh,
a person to be prime minister who says I'm waging a war against the Indian state? It's the slogan of the Naxalites. He's completely following that agenda, with Jinping controlling from the back. If he's so honest, why doesn't he declare what are these treaty clauses with China? Why doesn't he
no,
come out in that?
can
He
somebody
won't.
remain in parliament after saying that he is fighting a war against the state of India?
No. That's why I said that a JPC should fix him. In fact, by now, he should have been arrested. An FIR should have been filed against him for treason. I think they have been filed at some places. He should be
And
under arrest.
Professor
And I
Kumar,
even went, you see, in one of my videos, Dada, I went to the extent of saying that he should not be arrested only, he should be interrogated and he should be put to a narco test, that what are his plans are for future in terms of arson and anarchy in this country, and who are funding and who are his supporters along with him.
Professor
Then there
Kumar,
will be a narco
your
test of him.
language is like that of Professor Subramaniam Shami. He has told repeatedly that this is a drug addict. he should be interrogated and he should put on lie test. He has
But
demanded.
I don't know.
Right.
You see, even Subramanian Swamy has become an opportunist. Just because he didn't get a Rajya Sabha, he has
Yes.
been attacking left and right without even thinking. Yesterday, you had put a post on Modi, he's not been invited by Trump and all. My friends are laughing in US. I said, Mr. Swamy, I am laughing at you because you were supposed to be a CIA agent in India at a time. So
And the
whether you have
problem
been
is,
invited or not.
Professor Sami is now 85, like that. He should stop speaking out. He should stop speaking out.
I think that's a bit senile of him, sir. So
Yes, the problem is
That's what
there.
I'm saying.
Okay,
This is the
let us stop
lighter
here
side.
today. Let us
let's
stop
Dada,
here
let's
today.
let's
Dada,
conclude
let
here,
me
sir.
end by that story. Let me end by that story. You know that story.
Yes.
That once the king said that he called a weaver and he told the weaver to make the finest cloth for him, which no one in the world has ever worn. So the weaver was very shrewd. He asked for silver, he asked for gold, he asked for diamonds, that I'll put them in this cloth, I'll stitch them on that cloth and all. And one day finally he says that the cloth has been made. But the quality of this cloth is that fools can't see it. Now the king couldn't see it, but he didn't want to prove that he's a fool. So he said that, oh, the cloth is excellent, it's so beautiful, the embroidery is so beautiful. And then came his darbaris. They also praised it that it's very wonderful. So then the king wore that cloth and started the procession in the city. And then all citizens also, oh, beautiful, what beautiful clothes the king is wearing, and all. And then ultimately a young boy shouted, hey, the king is going naked. So this is the level of this leader of opposition in our
To
country
God save the king.
today.
God save the king.
God save the king. Okay, Dada, good night.
Okay, sir.
Jai
Jai Hind,
Hind.
sir.
Jai Hind.
Jai
We
Hind,
meet again.
everybody.
Jai
We
Hind.
meet again soon.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, Dada.
Jai Hind.
We are off.
Yes, sir.